Hi there, Magdalena. So let's get right into your correction. Okay, the first one is communication between family members. Let's see what you had to say about the topic. Recently, how people connect with each other has changed. Okay, so let's talk about the grammar here really quickly. Recently, how people connect with each other, no comma, has changed enormously, no comma again, because of technology development. All right, technological development would have worked better here. In every home, there is at least one television, and almost all family members own a mobile phone. However, the impact of this kind of development on families leads, with an S, to a decrease in their communication. I strongly agree with this fact. Okay, that's a little awkward. You know, you've got this tiny little sentence here. Let's see. I would have liked to see you somehow combine these ideas together. Or, you know what you could have said? You could have said, however, there are many who believe that this kind of development leads to a decrease in the communication in families, and I strongly agree with this. Okay, you could have said that. I think that would have worked. The first reason for what, Magdalena? The first reason for this decrease. All right, do make sure that what you're referring to is clear. No matter how self-explanatory it might appear to you, it's always a good idea to make sure that what you're actually saying is very clear. So, the first reason for this decrease is that entertainment from television, responds for the growth of distance between family members in today's world. I don't really know what that means. What do you mean responds for the growth? Is responsible for the growth? Maybe this is what you mean. So, entertainment from television is, or maybe not even entertainment from television. How about the first reason is that television is responsible for the growing distance between family members in today's world. In other worlds? Really? In other worlds? Okay, let's see. People meet at home after work, but they barely... maybe you mean in other words. People meet at home after work, but they barely talk with each other because they are watching the news on television instead, no comma. Secondly, long hours of work, you don't need ing, also do not strengthen family ties. For example, people eat their meals at work and come home late, sometimes too exhausted to share their daily experiences with other members of the family here. Moreover, the way of living nowadays, no comma, has shifted and families spend less time together because people work more. Okay, fine. It feels a little listy, and I don't like this first sentence here. In other words, you remember that the first sentence in your paragraph is supposed to introduce the main idea of the paragraph, and you haven't done that here. So what I would like you to do instead is you've got all these examples of why there's less communication. So what you should have done here instead was kind of summarized that you're going to be talking about all those reasons. For example, there are many explanations for why communication is less. Okay? That would have been a really good introductory sentence, and then you tell me all those things, and that's fine, okay? Then another thing you didn't do here is you didn't kind of make a conclusive statement here, kind of summarizing what you said in the first sentence. So for me, those two elements are missing. You really needed a stronger topic sentence, one that more accurately explained what the paragraph was about, and then you needed to also conclude it. Okay, another view to consider, no comma, is that mobile phones and internet communication give us the ability to contact other family members with, okay, so get rid of this and add an S here, wherever he or she is. It was impossible before the development of technology. Okay, so what are you trying to tell me here? You're trying to say that, in other words, we're communicating more now because of these means? I'm not sure. Again, if you had a clear topic sentence here, it would make sense. But you, on the other hand, are jumping straight into your main ideas. So it sounds like you're trying to say, really, another view to consider is that all of these changes have actually helped increase family communication. Okay? But again, I'm not sure. Let me see how you develop the paragraph before I make any conclusions here. So, okay, it was impossible for technology development. I already changed that. Furthermore, The possession of a mobile phone allows families to get in touch regularly and easily, even though they may be in a different country, singular. Also, the creation of worldwide internet connection. No, I think you mean messaging services or communication services, I'm not sure, such as Skype with no the, facilitate the ability of communication. No, just facilitate communication between family overseas. Therefore, in today's world, we are more connected with our family despite the distance. To conclude, although technology development, please change that, made connection with families better. Okay, this, you can't use although like this. You need to have, when you use although, you need to have two clauses. So, and they have to contrast, and you don't have that. So instead it should be one sentence, and it should say, to conclude, although technological developments have made connections with family members better, in my opinion, I think that other benefits of our time result in a downward trend of communication in the families. Okay, so some awkwardness here as well. Now, Magdalena, here's the big problem here. The order of your paragraphs is wrong, okay? This is obviously the side that you don't support, so this has to come first. You needed to reverse these two paragraphs. The one that you support should come closer to conclusion because it has to link with the conclusions you make in the essay, and also it remains in the mind of the reader more. So you absolutely need to reverse these paragraphs. We always talk about the side we agree with less first, and then we talk about the side we agree with. Also, I want stronger topic sentences where you basically provide an introduction for what your main idea of the paragraph is about. Like, what are you talking about in each paragraph? I didn't have that here. Also, so in general, I just didn't really feel like you followed the acronym really, really closely. You also didn't have this conclusive statement here. You did have it here, so okay, but certainly not here. So I wanted to kind of know what's the overriding theme of each paragraph, and I didn't get that in either one. So yeah, basically the weak area for me was the coherence and cohesion part, because those issues that I mentioned all fell under the coherence and cohesion section of the criteria. There were some grammatical problems throughout, but nothing like amazingly serious, but okay, some little issues. The task response, I think for the most part was okay. So, let's take a look now at your second essay. We spent quite a bit of time on this one. Let's go to the second one. Okay, enjoyable activities versus reading. Let's see. These days, most parents introduce books to their offspring, singular, at a very early age, thinking, ing, that it will encourage them to learn reading before they go to school. All right, so no comma here, and you have to change the grammar. However, some people believe that more beneficial in child's development of skills and imagination will be involvement in fun activities. In my opinion, I completely agree that this is a better way to achieve that goal. All right, fine. On the one hand, early childhood is a time when kids don't write kids please in IELTS essays. You have to write out the full word children. So, is a time when children develop different skills by playing with toys or bricks. I don't know why we're talking about bricks. I mean, aren't like bricks blocks? Do you mean blocks? I think you mean blocks. Okay. Moreover, not left alone kids. That's not the correct expression. Kids left on their own will, and again, no kids in these essays. It's not a formal word. You need to use the word children. So, children left alone will always find an activity which is appropriate to their age. In other words, by playing with, for example, Legos, a child will develop manual skills as well as imagination and creativity. Furthermore, parents ought to focus on helping children develop cognitive and physical abilities in early age by doing simple things. For instance, take them to a playground or zoo. Taking them, you should have had your ing. To the playground or zoo where kids will observe and react. This will also help them to mature. Why? Okay? You can't just make a statement like that and leave it. So you have to support it. Otherwise, don't write it. Okay? You could have instead just had a, therefore, it is clear that many skills can be gained by activities other than reading. Okay? But this for sure needed some sort of explanation. On the other hand, some people think that by encouraging their offspring to learn reading before school, grammatical here, let's see. their development will be more effective. Okay. Also, I'm not really super crazy about the word offspring. Whenever I hear it, I think of like baby animals and not so much children like human children. So really, it's okay if you use words like youngsters, children, it's fine. I don't feel like you overused the word children, so feel free to use it more often, okay? It's really the best word here. Therefore, I don't know what this means. Why do you have they parents here? Therefore, their parents introduced the first books to their youngsters at an early age. Undoubtedly, this kind of behavior not only will discourage a child from learning reading, but also will have a merely minor influence. I don't know what this means. Okay, let's see what you mean here. Okay, undoubtedly this kind of behavior will not only discourage a child from learning to read, but will also have only a minor influence on skills and the development of imagination. I think that's what you mean here. And then you can't use although like this, so you have to use although with a clause. So instead, let's say, however, bedtime short stories should be read by parents because it is a valuable habit which definitely will impact a child's growth. Why, Magdalena? Again, you're throwing out this idea here, which is interesting, but it needs development. You can't just say something like that and not support it. Let's see. Okay. I strongly believe that children should start their development by fun activities, IES, before they are mature enough to, I don't know what this means, to be involved with reading book. I'm not sure. The grammar here is a little problematic. I don't understand it. Again, Magdalena, the order of your paragraphs is wrong. You need to reverse them. This comes first, then this. I'm glad that you analyzed the this side about reading books. A lot of people don't do that, but I truly think that you should, because they posed this kind of dilemma here, like enjoyable activity or reading. And I'm glad that you analyzed books, really. But the paragraph order is wrong. So you need to reverse these, talk about the benefits of reading first, and then talk about this. Okay, so there are several things you need to do here in order to correct these essays and to get them really to the level they need to be. So I will let you do that. Correct them, add the errors to your error correction list, and send them back to us corrected. And of course, use all the information you've learned in order to write your next essays. So I'll be here. I'll be waiting for them. I want to wish you lots of luck with your next writing assignments.